That much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
That black man should be embarrassed. What kind of question was that? Like, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry. Embarrassing.
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is people reacting to the white man talking about how he got his wife a 35,000 naira, a $35,000 worth of wedding ring, and this has struck a bigger conversation of this white man and a black man and his queen being interviewed about similar thing about putting a ring on it and the price tag on it. And if you haven't seen that video, go check out that video. This is the part 3 of this series, so go check out the video. There's the part 2 was before this one, and then the part 1 is before. The part 1 will give you the full interview and what people are referring to in this video. So I'll say the part 1 is very, very crucial. Go check out the part 1 so you get full context of what today's video is. So this is people reacting to the white man talking about his $35,000 ring for his wife. And I've done the people reacting to the black man that feels like his black queen is not worth $1,500 worth of engagement ring and all that. So yeah, go check out that response too. So you join in this conversation, okay? So let's go hear other people's thoughts on this and what they think about $35,000 for an engagement ring. So I'm just going to play a sneak peek of the interview. So even if this is the first video you're seeing, you get like a little bit of context, but go check out the part 1. I'll leave it up in the card up here, and also it will pop up here and also in the description box, so you click 1, 2, 3 so you get full context and everything. So yeah, go check it out. Okay, so this is like a sneak peek of the interview.
How long have you been together?
4.5 years.
No, 5 now.
Well, yeah, I guess 5 now.
5 years.
Yeah.
How much did you spend on her wedding ring?
I mean, show it. I mean, go ahead. It's a decent amount. So if you look up like a 3-carat diamond, it's a decent amount I spent on her. But she deserves even more.
Numbers wise, what we talking?
I mean, how much was it? 35K? 35K, yeah.
35,000 bucks.
Yeah.
So he spent that much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
I think I should answer that. So I get a partner that's loyal. I get the mother of my children. I get the most beautiful woman that I've ever, been around. And the most important thing is how she treats me and how she treats my family and how she treats her family. So for me, I have a partner for life, and it's worth every investment there is.
Okay. But a lot of people would say you could have the same thing without dropping 35K on a ring.
You could. And money's not an issue. Like, if you can get a cheap ring and it's the person that's for you, whatever. But it also depends on how much you make. So
You hear that? Money is not an issue. So people, anyway, let's go hear other people's thoughts.
Wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
I think I should.
Allow me to explain a few things for y'all that are confused about life. Firstly, when it comes to marriage in the United States, customarily when it comes to an engagement ring, yeah, you get a wedding band or 2 when you get married, but you buy an engagement ring at the same amount as 3 months' salary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Secondly, engagement rings are given to usually women in contemplation of marriage, and the ring is the consideration for your marriage contract. Which brings me to the last point. When a man traditionally proposes to a woman, what he gets in return for the engagement ring is her hand in marriage. Y'all are too comfortable with coming to women empty-handed. Mm-hmm. You don't get a wife unless you provide things that can show her and her family that you can take care of her and the family you create. Mm-hmm. I know it's above some of y'all's pay grade, but pull it together.
Spend that much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
I don't like that interviewer because anytime I see him, he's implying that relationships are strictly transactional. And when you have that thought process, it'll immediately fail. I'm very happy that boyfriend stepped in. He said, I get a wife, I get somebody to spend my life with, I get a mother to my kids, because relationships now, they're not built on love. It's built on, what can you do for me if I do this? That's crazy. He spent $35K on a ring and he said, so what? Get your money up. When a man loves a woman, that money does not matter, especially if he's making it. 35K might mean something to bros interviewing. 35K seems light to him. He says nothing needs to be transactional. She just needs to be the best mother, wife, and I found my soulmate. I love her. That's enough. Too many people in this generation look at relationships as business deals. Like I'm sitting across from an investor. Like I'm a shark on Shark Tank. What are you going to do for me? That's not how relationships should be built. They need to be built on love. When you look at them as transactional, they'll never work. They'll always fail. I don't like that interviewer. I'm glad he kind of got checked today.
He spend that much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
Our backstory here is that guy bought his girlfriend a $35,000 engagement ring. So then the interviewer turns to her and asks her, like, okay, he just spent this money on you. What's in it for him? There's actually a lot to learn here from this video. That question actually kind of encapsulates the problem with the way young men are viewing women in this day and age, at least in the United States. So that notion that, like, oh, what are you bringing to the table? What are you doing for him? Like, the answer is obvious. And actually this kid, this young guy here, articulates it really well. He jumps in and defends her and starts giving this litany of attributes that she brings to the table. She's beautiful. She's going to be the mother of his children. She's a faithful friend, a partner. Like, duh, that's what the you're getting. Like, there's nothing like more that a woman needs to bring to the table, because just in her very essence, in her energy, you can be lifted up into being a much, much better man. And for women, again, if you're looking for a long-term partner, you need to understand, like, what are all of the most important attributes? Like, this guy, I don't know, I'm sure there's a more handsome guy out there and a guy in better shape. But you know what? He has a lot of really strong attributes. The way he views her, just generally speaking, the way he's willing to provide for her, defend her. Like, this guy's got a lot of good stuff going on, even though he might not be, you know, the best looking guy on the block.
So I get a partner that's loyal. I get the mother of my children. I get...
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there, that is a man. I love his response so much. He handled that perfectly. Usually this interviewer, when he interviews couples, especially traditional couples, he kind of tries to start something with demeaning the woman by asking her what does she bring to the table, and tries to debate her on all of her reasonings. But that man was not gonna let that happen. He knew what he was gonna do, and he was not gonna let that happen, and he was gonna let him know what she brings, and that is everything he wants and needs. And that right there is a good woman. Everything he described is a good woman, and that is, to be honest, that is rare. And he knows what he has. A man that loves you is a man that wants to provide for you and wants to make your life easier, not harder. He's right. Most couples probably aren't going to get a $35,000 ring. But he had the means. He was obviously going to give her exactly what she wanted, plus more. Like, go above her expectations, because he loves her and he wants to spoil her. Like me, my ring personally, I wanted one with a gemstone in the middle. I didn't know exactly what kind of gemstone I wanted, but I wanted a gemstone with diamonds around it. And typically the rings I was like had in mind were $1,000. My fiance got triple that of the cost and more. Like, this is so beautiful to me. I love it. It's more than I ever could imagine. And it's like, he wanted to spoil me. He wanted to give me more than I would expect, and that's exactly what every man should do for the girl that he loves. And if you're of the male species and you don't agree with that, that's not the type of woman you want, that is perfectly fine. Go find yourself a 50-50 woman. Go get someone that's hyper independent, likes to take care of themselves in the masculine energy. Go have fun with that. Go get that. No one is stopping you. Be so for real and stop feeling a type of way of women that are high value, that want high value men, that have high expectations and don't want to do this 50-50 thing. Like, respect that and like just stay in your lane, because we're not looking at men like you, obviously.
On a wedding ring for you as a gesture, what does he get in return?
I think this is a really fascinating video, especially for somebody such as myself who identifies as asexual, viewing much of the dating world in terms of romantic, development and dynamics, and how capitalism, I think, inherently informs the interpersonal dynamics of how people interact with each other, especially in the modern world where we're talking about human society at large. You go back and watch the clip, and this guy's essentially asking this newly engaged couple how much he spent on the engagement ring, and he dropped like $35K on it, which is a substantial amount of money as a, considerable gesture to your betrothed, who you'll eventually be marrying and eventually might have a family with. The part that's really interesting in the video, which is really the crux of this point, is the fact that he asks the woman, essentially, what does he get in return? Which the guy does a great job responding to the fact and essentially, standing up for her and justifying the fact that, like, she doesn't have to justify receiving a considerable gesture, which she never asked for in the first place, right? The implication, though, that I find fascinating is the idea of where he insinuates what he gets in return with this $35,000 investment. Consider the fact, mind you, that people's incomes fluctuate, so the amount of money that they put down for an engagement ring can vary per person. But it's a gesture, right? But I think it's the idea that he's insinuating this idea that he's supposed to get something back equivalent to the fiscal value of essentially what he's investing into his partner, if not getting a partner for life and eventually the mother of his children, when you consider the excruciating energetic expenditure that goes into gestating a child, which is, I think, more than money could ever really pay for when you think about the medical expenses that even go into that. I think this video is a prime example for how relationships for much of the modern context is heavily informed under this highly individualistic and transactional nature between two parties. This idea of, equivalent exchange between people suggesting and offering resources and what they're attempting to covet between two parties, especially when we look at the historical context between kingdoms and dynasties and, families offering daughters and sons to establish unification between two powerful households. It's always been highly capitalistic in the way that there's been this law of equivalent exchange between two parties, essentially offering, mutually regarded resources as, equally viable. But I think it's interesting when we think about the ways that it's also socially imposed on people, the way people perceive other individuals, and the idea of, essentially offering the question of what does a person get in return, when merely at the nature of its gesture can merely just be a tremendously kind, nuptial gift or offering to a beloved partner, without really ever asking for the social expectation in the first place. And I think it's really interesting to, unpack that when you clearly see here this guy defending his partner and suggesting that she deserves everything and so much more. And I think this gesture is just the beginning of so many other things that I think I can begin to offer her. And I think it's really interesting to think about the ways in which society often still imposes these things on a subconscious level, if not often, overtly. As always, stay curious, like and comment for more, and I will see you guys next time.
Her favorite city ever was Florence. She told me about
South Carolina?
No, Florence, Italy.
When I hear Florence, I think of Italy. I just learned that South Carolina has a city named Florence. Are you kidding me? Like, the interviewer is not equipped for this conversation. Like, his mindset alone is just not ready. Like, he cannot fathom how this man can love his woman and treat her right. We all see that. We all can see that. I wish the interviewer get healed soon and become a better person, because it's just so embarrassing, bro. Like, seriously.
I'm pretty sure y'all done seen this video already.
$35,000. Yeah. So he spent that much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
I think I should answer that. So I get a partner that's loyal. I get the mother of my children. I get the most beautiful woman that I've ever, been around. And the most important thing is how she treats me and how she treats my family and how she treats her family.
Listen, bro, if you got a woman and you feel deep down in your heart that she's a good woman, that's priceless. That's priceless. She deserved everything plus more. What he described was a good person, a good human, and you always want a good person on your side. I would have did the same thing. Don't ask my woman nothing. I answer that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are scared to be in love with women. Like, why is it such a disconnect? Like, why is it so crazy that this man spent a lot of money on his woman? That's his woman. They've been together 5 years. That's his girl. You supposed to do that. Call me a simp. I don't give a damn. If I feel like my woman is a good woman, I'm with her 5 years, I'd marry her. She can have whatever of mine. I'm not finna be scared of no divorce or her taking this or doing that. Like, y'all gotta stop thinking like that.
Much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in return?
Every time I see content like this on this internet, I slowly start to understand why black American women do not respect their black men. Because as a man, how will you be respected if this is what you think? And it's normally black American men that are pushing this agenda so much. Oh, if I marry you, what am I getting in return? So if I buy you a ring that is $50,000, what am I getting in return? What do you bring to the table? Oh my God. Do you people don't have moms? You don't know what your moms did? The sacrifice your moms went through to take care of you when you were sick, when your father didn't have a job. You don't have that? I have never seen, correct me if I'm wrong, an African man in Africa say this nonsense. I have never seen an African man sit behind a microphone and say, if I marry you, what are you bringing? What are you bringing on the table? Because they know the value of a woman in a man's life. They have seen their mothers, they have seen their aunties, they have seen their cousins, they have seen their sisters. They do not ask this nonsense. In fact, it's automatic in Africa. It's the responsibility of the man to take care of the woman. But if the woman has a job, she can also help the man. But a man doesn't go into marriage thinking that, oh, what is she going to bring? What is she going to bring? Even the fathers will tell you, you as the man, you're the one to take care of your family. Now I understand why black American women do not respect you people. God! For a minute I used to think, are women the problem? But now I'm starting to see men, they're the problem. How will you sit here and start asking such nonsense? And it's normally black American men. I don't know what happened to you guys. I don't know what went wrong. The podcast boys running around, black American. I get disappointed as a black woman seeing a black man trying to devalue a woman, and it's mostly quoted in financial sense. They don't look at the domestic contribution that the woman is going to do, the nurturing of the kids, trying to shape the future of the kids and just being a good mom. They don't look at that. The only thing they care about is money. And you people, you still give birth to babies for this man, because there's a lot of baby mamas in that your America. Oh. Now I understand why there's so much conflict between black American men and black American women. Women don't respect men. That's why men are going to Africa. These are the men now, they are coming to Africa to find women. You think you'll manage to maintain an African woman with this mentality? So disappointing. Like, there's nothing that hurts me the most than me seeing a black person trying to put down another black person. Like, it just doesn't sit right with me. It's so disappointing, and I'm so glad this guy, the one who bought the ring for the woman, sort of educated the guy to tell him the value that the woman brings in his life. But if the only thing men look at contribution of the woman is money, then just be with fellow men. I really do not understand why you push so much to be with women, but you really just want to be with another man to sort of subsidize the bills. America. America, the land of honey and milk. Clearly the beast don't leave your country now.
No, 5 now.
Well, yeah, I guess 5 now.
5 years.
Yeah.
How much did you spend on her wedding ring?
I think we've all agreed that we collectively don't like this interviewer, but I have a hot take. Let's talk about why a lot of men want to place a monetary value over women, and that's like the only thing they see as valuable. Now, I can't speak specifically for the interviewer, but I've noticed a lot of men that are raised by single mothers, you know, mothers that have to cook, clean, take care of the household as well as work. A lot of the children, especially their sons, will look at that as being normal. Like, wow, my mother is a superhero. She paid all the bills. She held it down. Not knowing that you think your mother wanted to do all that on her own. It's because the father failed as a father and left or whatever it may be. So I've noticed a lot of sons that are raised by single mothers have this like weird disdain for other women that do not do that don't just provide and pay the bills for a family. And unfortunately, they place value in women as a monetary value because of that. And this just goes over the fact that he doesn't see anything else a woman does as valuable. Like nurturing the household, nurturing him, his family, taking care of their future children, creating a home, her value as a human being. That's like, he doesn't care about all that. He's just wondering how much she makes and how much she spends on him. And then it's weird that he also thinks it's okay to ask another woman what she brings to the table. Another man's wife, first of all. That's not for him to decide. If it was a genuine question and he just wanted to know what he values her in, he would have asked her, why do you feel like, what are the qualities that make you value your woman? But no, he wanted to direct that towards her to try to attempt to embarrass her. And it's quite frankly embarrassing.
As a gesture, what does he get in return?
I think I should answer that.
Have y'all actually ever liked another human being before? Every day it's, what do you bring to the table? What do I get in return? Since when did everything become transactional, bro? Personally, when I do something for my girl, I literally have to beg her not to do anything in return. Because that's not what the fuck I did it for. Like, it loses all its meaning if you're always expecting something back, you know? Look at it this way. If I come to you and I'm like, all right, we're having a cookout, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be food, everything. Why would I expect you to bring something then? Like, it'd be nice, for sure, it'd be nice, appreciate it, but why would I expect it? Just like the person that's getting invited, they're going to be looking at you crazy like, what? You just told me you're going to have bare shit? Why are you expecting me to bring something too? Like,
Yep.
It don't make sense.
How long have you been together?
4.5 years.
No, 5 now.
Well, yeah, I guess 5 now.
5 years.
I highly recommend watching the entire video when you have a chance, because a lot of it encapsulates perfectly what is wrong with modern dating today. And I don't think this is an issue exclusive to the United States of America, but at least that's where I live, and I see it's especially prevalent in social media today. A lot of people are entering relationships with the what's in it for me mindset, and honestly, that's just not how it works. In the video, the interviewer asked the man, you got her a $35,000 ring, you know, what is she bringing to the table? And he answered it perfectly. And she's bringing qualities that he wants in a wife. She's a good friend. She supports him. He supports her. And honestly, they're building a strong union together. Isn't that why you go for a partner? Human beings aren't business opportunities where you're seeking to get an ROI. Like, what are we doing here? Ultimately, a lot of us are looking for that, you know, forever person that we can grow old with and really, you know, go through life's meaningful journeys and accomplishments. My man killed the question, and for more honest and relatable dating content, hit the follow button. Appreciate y'all.
So he spent that much on a wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he...
His question is ironic in that the reason that she got a ring is because she already provided something. Seems pretty obvious, but her fiance did a great job of illustrating that for him. Within that particular context, the question really just implies a devaluation of women. It is an unanswerable question. And it honestly feels deeply inappropriate, especially in this context. The fact that he felt comfortable making that statement is interesting.
Wedding ring for you as a gesture. What does he get in...
I get caught in a situation like that, and this is why I have millions of questions for a guy on the first date. If that's too much for you, then obviously I'm not the person for you. I was raised in a household where even when my mother was working, my dad was still giving my mom money, okay? My dad was the head of the house. A lot of black men have joined that cult. It's honestly disgusting and disheartening to see that. It's not attractive. Like, I don't know what type of woman will pick you up. Men like that usually end up with women that doesn't know their self-worth and has no standards whatsoever, and that is how they begin to manipulate these girls. I'm actively looking for a husband because I will not be a baby mama, but baby, for you to be that man, there's just so much on the list. If you want to be a man, then be a man. This right here is giving I'm a boy and I'm not ready for a real relationship. I'm looking for somebody I can manipulate and walk all over. You want to be called king, but it's giving servant. It's just not gonna happen.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. So go ahead and share your thought. But please, please keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So yeah, that's how we roll, yeah. This is how we roll. Okay, so go down and share your thought, okay? So yeah, like I've given some of my thought on the part 1, part 2 video, but like the brother that was talking about how this is almost like a social construct and how society had made it seem like being with somebody has to be more transactional and all that. I feel like with the way society is formed now and the way everything is, and women are trying to decenter men because there's a whole lot of control. I feel like this conversation, because every time you always ask what do you bring to a table, which I find this conversation and this video, this interview very interesting. Go check out the full video in part 1 so you know what I'm talking about. Everybody, when they say what do you bring to a table, especially for women, there's always has to do with finance. Even generally, when you ask a man, ask a woman, what do you bring to the table, it always has to do with financial stuff. Nothing has to do with who you are as a person and who you are at your core and value. And this man just pointed out what his wife or fiance is, without even talking about anything that has to do with what she does for him, what she does financially for him and all that, but rather her core values and who she is as a person. And I feel like that is very important in a relationship. When you're in any form of relationship, even friendship, is for you to ask, does this person core value and who they are as a person, does it align with who you are? But if it doesn't, there's always going to be a lot of conflict when there is no respect in it, okay? But if you're trying to build a life with somebody, it's better you go with somebody. Everybody has their different core values, so find the ones that align with you. Some women believe in 50-50, some women believe I have to provide for myself, and some men believe in I need a good woman. Some people see marriage as transactional, and some don't. Some see it more emotional, more individual. So find the person that aligns with you. But this man trying to degrade this woman by asking the question what she brings to the table. I just love the way a man steps in. And I wish that a lot of men step in when people ask this dumb question about their women, like, oh, you provide everything for us, so what does she bring to the table? She brings being a good partner. She's a good human being. She's going to help you. The essence of her being in your life is going to help you grow. How about that? Is that not the whole table already? So I really find this conversation very interesting and intriguing. So please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. So go ahead and share your thoughts. Please go ahead and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banking conversations, so go ahead and share this video, okay? With that all said, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content, and that will be you supporting your girl. With that all said, guys, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.